What should we do for an opening joke?
Should we tell them about the VFL side we beat on the weekend?
We could talk about Melbourne.
Melbourne?
Yeah.
When's the comedy festival start?
Welcome to Collingwood Rant. I'm Sly.
And we beat a VFL team, Spook.
Did we?
Well, a VFL team on the rise.
You know, I was thinking about last week when we played and lost to Fremantle, and then we did a rant, and you were pretty loaded. Fortunately, I was relatively sensible. And it was quite an angry rant. And I was actually almost a little bit hesitant to look at the comments this week because I thought people would be going, oh, why are you two so negative and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, I'm going to start with the comments because the game was an absolute shit fest. Bernard Parsons, talking absolute sense, boys. Agree completely. Thanks, Bernard. For all his good points, and there are some, Markov makes terrible decisions too often. He has done so all his career. I have to agree with that. Mm-hmm. There's that one bit against Richmond where he was basically running into forward 50 and then he went for a short layoff rather than just have a shot. Where was more when Schultz's kick falls short? Behind his man, just like went on the back line, which I totally agree with.
Well, he improved this week. He was under the ball.
Yeah. We're risking at dropping out of the 4. Houston has played with injury all year. Well, that's not a great way to start your Collingwood career. Not 2023 this year. Feels like we are floating along and going through the motions week to week. That's from Timothy O'Kane. McRainiac, I'm managing myself the finals. I missed the Suns match. Watch the second half of the Freo game. Manage minutes. And I may miss this week because we're on a high nothing against Richmond. I'll have a full game against Brisbane. I might return when Geordie DeGoey comes back. Well, it's a shame never to see you again. Russell Blackwell, exactly not the same side as earlier this season. We get in front and just go to sleep. How do you give up a 21-point lead and our top-tier players can't even kick straight? Same shit as last week. I can't stand McStay, never consistent from a guy's size. If they don't correct this, we're in trouble. Have Crows, Brisbane and Hawthorn.
Oh, McStay improved.
Yeah, worth 8 points. And how long
kicked the goal
was it before the penny dropped to put someone else on Voss? No how. He was a big loss. Love your show. Great insights this year. Club is so frustrating. I was more pissed this week than the Gold Coast loss.
So was I.
Yes. John Cornish. Didn't he play Strop in Paul Hogan's show?
It was Canal.
Okay. Great pod again, guys. You stated as it is. Nick's kicking is atrocious. Well, he fixed
He fixed it this week.
Captain Noob, it's the blurst of times right now. Simpsons reference. Best thing I can say about the last 2 games is at least we're not getting blown away, which isn't much. I think it's time to stop managing all the players and start putting our best on the pitch to build some much-needed chemistry running into the finals.
Well, let's hope that starts this weekend.
Totally agree. I believe the team can turn this around, but we need to start actually performing before September hits. Cheers for the cathartic rants in this pod. Mick the Music Dude. Voss from Freo has joined the club, which includes Cuthbertson, Collingwood, Heaver and Jeff Hogg. Chief F all in their careers, but had that one game against Collingwood that they can talk about to their mates forever. Ash and Prism. A game we coulda, shoulda, woulda, but didn't. That third quarter dominance with 0 scoreboard reward gave the Dockers the belief to give us the old heave-ho. And Markov can fark off after 2 diabolical turnover goals. Dockers seem to be in better positions than us all game despite us winning key stats. A bad day at the office. Spewing Bow will miss again after having 15 tackles in his return.
Yeah, that was shit.
Yeah, Mark Kyra.
Chiropractor?
Kira, I'm not sure how
Kirian Laser.
What's how it's spelled? Houston needs to have a big game against Richmond on his return. Well, he had a big 15 minutes. We saw Schultz kick into gear in the last month of last year. Houston needs to follow. Good opportunity against the bottom side to get going right before finals.
That's good in theory.
Yep. JCD, 30 metres of space kept constantly open up in front of us and Moore decides to stand 5-10 metres behind him. Then at the end of the game, Moore heads forward and stands behind Treacy in the goal square and Treacy takes the mark. Haha. Mid-forward cohesion is terrible. Mid's bombing it long constantly. Forwards not letting up the ball, carrying it to space that opens up. Forwards running backward towards goal, wanting a long kick over the top. How about one of them lead back toward goal and then double back toward the ball carrier? That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? I thought I'd read these thirds because they highlight a lot of things we did wrong against Fremantle, which I don't think we actually remedied that much against Richmond. Nice report, folks. Why don't you go to the club and talk to Fly and players? They need to know what you were talking about.
Well, funny you mentioned that.
Yes. Stop managing. So this is a common theme in comments. Stop managing. Stop managing. Now time managers over. Pick the best available. Make My Madness. That was fucking crap. No, you guys are never too hard. Everyone else is in fairy tale land. Thank you. Donatoni. Fucking pies. We're sitting pretty on top of the ladder 2 weeks ago and we didn't put the foot down. Now we're looking shaky. Totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Catania. Darcy Cameron hit out to advantage is 40.4%. Considered below average. AFL-wise, Mason Cox is 46.5%, which is considered elite. Against good clearance midfield size, this should be factored in. Comes selection time for finals. I totally agree.
We lost the hitouts this week, do you know?
Did we? I got the stats, so I got them. Haiku Bob.
Who?
Haiku Bob. Nick should be made to kick with his left foot for the whole week at training. Well, he kicked a goal.
He kicked 2, didn't he, off his left foot?
Yeah. Timothy O'Kane, treading water since the D's game, to be honest. Could have lost and killed an even Eagles. Only time I felt happy was the Blues game.
Which year?
Free became some. I'm done with Sullivan and Dean, to be honest. I think of the listing him at the season, and they are not. Oh, geez, you fix them up.
We mentioned that to Fly.
Mitchell should have played. Go to the club and tell them all players and Fly, mate. This is common theme. Like, people want to go to the club and talk to them. We could go in an advisory capacity.
We could.
Yes. Drink some warm beer and give some advice, some insight.
And go for a piss a lot.
Yes, have to play FCG one final or else it's 2022 all over again. For Collar, 90. For an All-Australian defender, Houston has been average all year. He's the second best player at the club on paper. One finished in the top 10 of the club BNF. Totally agree. Digsby. Pendles looked a bit old and not a great game for a 37-year-old, to be honest. Hoskin was good in that cameo super sub role and Cox should never play again. Yeah, Pendles did look, old.
He did. He had a Zimmer frame.
GPAP, 1967. 2 Collingwood supporters out on day release chewing the fat about Collingwood. Laughy face.
Where?
Remember Drake in Aliens when he turned to
Oh, is that a joke?
Yeah. I actually thought that was interesting because one of the common themes in the way we played was bombing, and I actually don't think that changed. McRae talked about the connectivity that was like at 30% or something going inside forward 50, and this week it was at 50%. Outside of Nick Dacos, I thought everyone just bombed the fuck out of it yet again, and it didn't really look that great.
Oh, I reckon we're foxing.
Really?
Yeah,
we're experimenting.
We're deliberately doing this so everyone thinks there are injuries will be shit, and when it matters, we'll be fucking laser pointing them onto the chest.
Really? So you think this is an episode of Ted Lasso?
It is. Yeah, that's how easy things turn.
Like that.
Just like that.
Like that.
Yep. He'll hold a sign up and it has a laser pointer on it.
Are you serious?
And you watch him go.
How do these people not know to pass? Is it just part of the game plan? Bomb it, bring it to ground, and then get the small forwards to do all the tackling?
It has to be. I mean, like even there was times in that game where Elliot, who's normally a bit of a pinpoint passer, just sent it up into the stratosphere just to get entry into the 50. I think you was watching it, and a lot of it was to do with the conditions. I don't know whether, in the wet when the ball's slippery, if you're sending it in with huge velocity, you're probably lessening your chances of marking it successfully. However, though, the way gravity works, when you send it up, it's coming down at great acceleration. So what are you gaining an advantage in doing either?
So Nick Vlausten
over the other.
So Nick Vlausten got 17 intercepts.
Well, he seemed to carry our market all right.
Well, Vlausten's a gun, so this is not to disparage him, but I think 17 intercepts is a bit easier when our players just keep kicking it straight to him.
No, well, he's Vlausten's a $6 million man.
Do you know we stopped him from experiencing 4 in a row?
I like when every time that Vlausten leapt for the ball, he did it in slow motion, making a tick noise. Did you pick up on that on the TV?
Yes, totally.
But conversely, Dean had 10 intercept marks.
Yeah, I thought he had a decent game.
He was playing a VFL side. He was comfortable.
Oh, potentially.
No, he did play well.
I thought he played well. I think the only person who didn't like him was Turts.
Why didn't you like him?
I don't know.
Did he do something behind his back?
I think Turts is traumatised because he's wearing, not him, but Dean's wearing the 43, which Derek Shaw wore in 79 grand final and didn't get a possession.
Ah.
So it all tracks back to grand final losses.
The horror.
We've got a bone to pick with Nick Dacos despite that game. I don't see the point of him going to full forward. You've got McStay, Membry and Mychek sort of rotating through that forward 50. Once you have Nick going in there, it means all 3 of them have to get out, which means you're losing a runner around the ground. Wouldn't it be better just to put Nick, I don't know, let him swap with Elliot or someone who can, swap directly?
What was the return from the Triple M's? 5? Did Mychek kick 2? Membry kicked 2.
Mychek 2, Membry 2, and McStay 1.
McStay 1.
Yep.
So he kicked 5. Nick should have kicked 4.
Yeah.
Why don't they all 3 of them fuck off and Nick just roams the forward line?
Well, we've talked about one of them fucking off. I mean, thank you to Membry for kicking straight this week.
You said that one time where he was not that far out and fucking sent it to the left.
Yeah, back into the left.
Back into the left.
Back into the left. Darcy Moore said they've upped the training loads, and Craig McRae mentioned that in the press conference.
Though?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
They're preparing themselves for finals, so the train. I still don't understand this principle. I wish someone at the club would explain it to me. But you up the training loads, and then you get like a bounce coming out of the heavy training loads, which to me just seems like...
What about the 20 weeks leading up to today?
And the years that some of them have played.
And the game practice and...
This is what I would have thought. So you up the training loads, and there's like... You get a bounce coming out of it, but is that because you're now no longer training so heavily, so you just go back to normal, you default to normal? Can someone explain this to us, some physio?
Maybe it's like when you're trying to disable the world engine, and it's the power of self-belief and hope that gets you through it. Is that what a training load is?
You're talking about Man and Shit.
Yeah.
Fuck, what a terrible movie. Although it looks pretty good now. Comparatively. But some of them have played like they look a little bit flat. They're not making as good decisions. You look at someone like Ned Long, I think he's struggling at the moment. And, I've always been a big advocate for Long, but his kicking has been really problematic going forward. He's not the only one. But he seems to somehow end up on the ball a lot when it's going to feel about 70 of 80 of goals. So he's delivering it in forward, where you'd rather it showed up to someone who's got elite disposal like Pat Lipinski.
Do you think he's obviously a better player when he's got the better midfield around him? He's struggling probably at his stage of his career to carry some of it, which is what's been, I think, expected of him to a certain extent, to be that hard inside presence and get it out. And now he's sort of more outside and delivering the ball in. It's just not as good.
I mean, there's multiple things. One, I do think he's tired. His first real senior season.
I saw him asleep at quarter time. I mean, that's how tired he was.
He wasn't the only one.
They had an alarm clock next to his ear on the bench.
I think...
He was sawing logs at 3/4 time.
I think because he's been...
He brought his own doona to the bench, Sly.
Well, good on him. I think because he's being commended for his defensive work. Yeah, for his defensive work. I think he's almost compensated by trying to do that too much. And I do think, people started talking about how he's Nick Dacos's bodyguard and stuff like that. So I think it's taken him away from what his natural game is to try and do all these other things.
He's certainly playing a different role to the start of the year.
Well, you got Mitchell there. Mitchell actually factored in the coaches' vote, so...
Well, he ended up with 29 touches or something. I don't remember him being super prolific, but I must say I got pretty munted on that game, so I don't remember a lot.
That's unlike you.
No, not these days.
When I can find his name on his stat sheet.
Mitchell, it's under M for major.
Yeah, I'm still looking for it. Tom Mitchell. 29 disposals. I can't tolerate any of this. And 6 tackles. So... he's had a really good game. 11 and 18.
What's that?
11 kicks and 18 handballs. Does he have a place still? Because I've seen contrasting opinions that say, no, he's too old. He's too past it, and out he should go.
I have a concern that if you go into finals loaded up with too many old blokes, we could fade pretty quick. I think there has to be a balance of youth and senior experience. At the moment, we look top heavy with inside mids if we've got Long and Mitchell and Ed Allen in the side.
And then you bring Pendlebury back. So
well, he's not really inside, but
he's in terms of being a very one-pace midfield.
I would pick Pendlebury ahead of Mitchell.
Oh yeah, Pendlebury definitely. I'm just saying, you can't play them all together because it's a very one-pace midfield.
It is literally 3-1 at the moment, and that's going to be some of the selection dilemmas coming up over the next couple of weeks. Assuming we get all people who can be playing anymore to come out and play a game of football.
Yeah, as long as Galacticus doesn't come and destroy the planet. In terms of the umpiring, what do you think of it? Because you said make a special point of the umpiring. Did you like that decision against Perriman for standing his ground?
Oh, that is seriously one of the worst fucking decisions I've ever seen in my life. I mean, the fact that you can't stand ground to take the mark, he's cannoned into Perriman, and Perriman was done. What did you say he was done for? It was for blocking.
For a block.
Did he fucking move to make that block?
No.
What was the block? Was it a mental block? Did he have writer's block?
Well, we're talking about this a little bit.
Was he eating a block of chocolate?
He had a block of doona. Talking about this a little bit earlier, I think it's ridiculous that
That free was paid, I agree.
But the commentary is, not saying Perriman did this, but the eyes can't leave the ball. It's like, if you're standing your ground, or even if you're running toward a player who's going to contest the ball, how dare you look to see what's ahead of you before you turn back to the ball? It's fucking insane.
It's a reflex reaction.
So they want you to run blind. They want players to have duty of care, but they don't allow players to actually have a look around what's, I think it's perfectly natural. I remember seeing Ablett do it years ago where he was running, the ball was like going up to an opponent, and he was running to get to it, and he was looking at it, but then he turned to see what was in front of him, and he turned back, and they called a free against him. It's like, it's perfectly, natural reaction to assess what's around you. Other thing too, we're talking about. So Nathan Williamson, who was the umpire, who was like 10 metres away, he didn't call anything, but then an umpire from further downfield overruled. Is it ridiculous that someone further afield can overrule and they always have the last say?
The thing is, in that instance, if Williamson was the one who let it go, he made the right call.
Yep.
You've been overridden by a wrong call. You've actually made that situation worse.
Yep.
So surely there's got to be a means to either contest that or fucking say the other umpire, and this is what we talked about, you're going to have to stop playing that instance. And because you have deliberations at this level with the boundary umpires and the goal umpires and that sort of thing, but the field umpires clearly blatantly fucked this one up, and there's no recourse to actually correct it.
This one.
Yeah, and so that's it. It's now just become, and that guy could have even just thought, well, maybe I did get that fucking wrong when I looked at the screen. But there's no recourse now to change that decision.
There's nothing you can do, because Williamson let it go. The Richmond player, Steely Dan, was it?
He was reeling in the beers.
Yeah, so he jumped up, he went for the mark, he dropped, he landed on the ground. Perriman then had the advantage to pick up the ball and just run. So Collingwood got added the advantage there. The call should be play on, which is what would have happened. The other umpires overruled it. If the attending umpire actually says, no, you're wrong, I'm overruling it, what do you do? Because we had possession, you just brought up, which means we lose the advantage there. So it's a real fucked up situation.
Oh, it is. Stimmy's all more in the back of a bad call. At the ground, the fucking crowd went nuts, like really, really loud and vocally. I was sitting with a Richmond mate, and he was of the same opinion. That's probably just one of the shittest things he's ever said. It's not a free. You've got a lot of people there who fucking saw it for what it was. How did one peanut dickhead get it wrong?
Well, this is the other thing we talked about too. I mean, we should probably just film our conversations before we film.
Why don't we have our conversations and
just film it
and not talk before then, leading in?
That'd be good.
We can stare silently at each other.
Then we can have like the flashbacks in Highlander where they stare off and then it flashes back to an earlier time. Or
then we can go fight in a car park.
Yeah, there's too many situations now.
There is.
I talked about Maynard earlier in the year where, I think it was the Bulldogs game, I can't remember, but like an opponent grabbed the ball coming out of the pack and just ran straight into Maynard, who went threw his arms out I'm not doing anything. And the guy's running into him, knocked himself in the head, and it's a free against Maynard. There's too many situations now where the player just standing his ground, he's penalised. I've always said, the player has to have an alternative. So if you're saying he couldn't stand his ground, his only alternative is to move out of the way and let his opponent run unimpeded, which is fucking ridiculous. So too many of the rules now are just absolutely absurd, and I don't think they're in the spirit of the game. You've had a lot, the spirit of the game, but they're not in the spirit of the game.
And there were some really blatantly shit ones that were paid. Who's the other Richmond defender? There was one where the balls come into their forward line and Cameron was blatantly fucking pushed.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, I think it's Bolter did that.
Bolter, yeah. And he was paid the mark. And you go, you would have to be fucking kidding. Yeah. It was the most obvious push. And Cameron is a big bloke. I can't imagine he's hard to topple. He went face down.
And again, the umpire's parallel to that. So
well, there's 4 of them out there. You really should have all angles covered, like one of those shows we watch on Foxtel.
And Bolter has form on that.
Has he?
Not on the field, but
off the field, yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's ridiculous. But I think another one that was a contender, I can't remember what it was, but it was like a 25-metre pass out of the centre to a player out forward.
Not 15.
It wasn't 15.
Yeah, as I said, I think it was the first quarter. There was a pass right in front of me on the wing, went about 5 metres. Yep, mark. It's like you're getting the basics really badly wrong. And then this is instances where surely then... And I don't think that they can overrule in those instances where it's in play still, because you're then stopping play to correct the decision.
Well, that one you could, because he took the mark, and the guy's called play on. If another umpire from further down the field blew the whistle and said, no, I'm paying out a mark, I saw that was 25,
But he's going to have to bowl a lot up at that point.
No, but at that stage, the position you have there is the Collingwood guy's taking the mark. So if he's tackled, yeah. I mean, like I said, the other one with Perryman, you're disadvantaging whoever might have got the ball there. But the pass up forward was like, well, it's a mark, so just you default to the mark. I hate this not 15 thing. You see it paid really so randomly, but so often nowadays, and then you see so many fucking other kicks that are like, well, that's definitely on 15, and you haven't paid it. And it's really absurd how inconsistent it is now. Why in the AFL so fucking harsh on this?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, you can sit there and you can work the ball from one side of the ground to the other. You can go backwards. You're essentially doing short passes going nowhere. And this is what that 15-metre thing was supposed to curtail. But it's only stopping people from kicking forward over a particular distance. You can still go all over the place and slow the play down, which is what this rule was designed not to allow to happen. So it's sort of like, well, it's a bit pointless.
Oh, it is fucking, it's totally pointless. I would actually go the other way. I'd let fucking every kick that's marked be legal.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I think, again, it goes back to the AFL want to keep the ball in motion. They don't want these stoppages. They don't want people chipping it around and shit like that. But when you get umpires so blatantly inconsistently getting it wrong or applying it so inconsistently, it's like, what's the fucking point? Imagine, as they would say, if that pass was in the grand final.
Oh, fuck, you'd do your head in, wouldn't you? It is getting progressively worse, the umpiring in the game, and it's just making a mockery of some of the games. They're just getting hard to watch. And it doesn't help that the umpiring is so shit. And it's not just our game, it's the bulk of most games.
Yeah.
There's just some hell of fucking decisions crawling into it. And yeah, it gets back to that thing is, you look at playing fucking soccer or something, there's about 3 or 4 core rules and that's about it. Everyone knows what they're fucking doing. There's not too much contention, unless someone fucking does this and whatever as a means to either stop or delay the game. But most of it flows pretty well. Rugby, I think, is another one that flows really well. I reckon where rugby tops AFL umpiring is you've got the ability to go up and question the umpire about, well, what the fuck are you doing, you moron? Without saying that, but this is just like, it's unaccountable too. So no matter what, it's like this endless protected species of umpire, can't be criticised, can't be held to account. The AFL may come out Monday and say, "Oh, we got something wrong." What does it fucking change?
Doesn't change anything.
Fucking well, thanks for telling us. Do you think you'll get it right next week? No, it'll be just more of the same. Well, thanks, guys.
Any of the guys championed for years that the way the umpires were applied in the game should be totally reformatted from scratch. And like I totally agree with him in terms of like, you look at the way it's like fucking operating systems. You just sort of keep upgrading, but it's just building on more shit. So there's more room for schisms. Like, I've talked about it before, he's pitched a plan where you totally change where their position and all that. And I totally think fucking they should do something, because it's absolutely absurd how often umpiring really mars games. And it's, like I said, not just our game. You see it pop up so often, and I've seen Collingwood games where I've like called, has not a free against us, and I haven't paid it. It's fucking terrible. So I don't want to make it out like it's a Collingwood bias. It's not. It's just shit all across the fucking ground. And
look, we won, so you could say this sort of thing. But fuck, how many 15 metres out from goal did they get? Would have been about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It's just one of numbers. Leaning in their favour in the opposite direction.
Nick Dacos, is he any good, this guy?
He struggles a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah. That's probably was the best game he's played for about 2 years, I reckon.
Oh, yeah, but he's playing a VFL side.
Yeah.
I think you got to put it all into context.
Oh, totally.
If he did 42 touches against Brisbane this weekend and kicked 2 goals or 3 goals, you'd be fucking tugging for a month over that.
Yeah, you'd be tugging anyway.
There wouldn't be enough Kleenex in the fucking world.
What about, so what's the defence look like? Do we bring Franners back for
Dean? It's that big thing that goes around the ground, but that's not important right now.
Okay. So, do you bring Frampton back? You watched
he was fucking ordinary in the VFL. Look, I mean, I think watching that VFL game the other night, which was a hard fucking watch, the Goey did sweet degrees of fuck all, and Frampton turned it into an art form. But you'd have to think it's 0 fucks given. I think the VFL side's been pretty competitive, but they were obliterated. And I think that clearly some of that there was too much brought in just to be out there running around and touching the ball. It broke their structure and whatever it is, their familiarity they have with who's normally playing. But both of them look fucking ordinary. Hill had a couple of nice cameos, but he was unsighted for most of it.
I mean, the thing with Frampton that you have to qualify is he's part of the VFL defence. When he comes into the AFL, he's part of an AFL defence which is really good at zoning and knows where to run and all that and how to back up. And so I think there's certain players like him, you put him in the VFL, they're going to look pretty average because it's just a different system.
Oh yeah, like I think a lot of it said was just it was a case of zero fucks.
How long would you keep DeGoey down there, providing he stays fit?
I don't, looking at the way the game was, I don't know who, because like I believe Frankston on top of the ladder or something, which shows what a mockery the VFL is when you got all these AFL affiliated clubs.
Yeah.
Or is it Hawthorn? Maybe Hawthorn's up there. Or
No,
fucking no. It's one of the two. I don't know if you keep him down there, what value you're going to get out of, other than the fact he's going to get bumped. Like, he was scragged a fair bit. You know, like, the problem you have with that, and I think it happened to Hill in the first seconds, though I missed it, but I heard about it. With his first possession, he had about fucking 20 of the Dolphins players jump all over him and grinding his head into the turf. He was picked up and he was hurled across the stage. All sorts of things happened. I think Deggs was on the arse end of a few heroes who wanted just to fucking go up against an AFL champion and make a mark by thumping or scragging and that. I don't know whether you're going to get any value, but it all depends on who they play this week.
Well,
like, I fucking care.
Where do you fit him, though? So he's not going to have the endurance for midfield minutes. I mean, he'd be able to have cameos, but...
Oh, it'd have to be in the forward line, wouldn't it?
So how do you fit
forward?
with Membry, Myercheck, McStay in there? So you got three guys who you'd consider like mid to tall forwards, not great on agility and shit. You'd have Hill come back naturally. You got Schultz in there, who's frenetic, and you got Elliott. Sullivan will go out with the PCL, unfortunately. So where do you fit the goalie?
Like I said, I think he'd almost play that McCreery role before McCreery became a really good midfield option, just really patrolling that high half forward and dropping back, I think, because he's one-on-one, he's a fucking beast.
Yeah.
But who are you going to kick it to? In that, when you got three talls down there and you got the competitive beast, who are you going to pick out every time you go in?
Oh, probably the opposition defender.
Well, aside from that, it's a hard one. I mean, you'd almost look at pushing Bobby more higher up and getting some run and delivery into the arc and keeping Deggs in deep. It's a hard balance.
So going back to the midfield,
you want him in the fucking midfield. That's the problem.
Yeah. I got that down. So you do have concerns about lack of depth and talent, in terms of class to bring in the side. Like, a lot of guys are going to bring in a really good competitive beast, but you know, where's the class coming from? Obviously, you're going to get something back with Pendlebury when he does come back. You know, the two Dacoses can have classes, although sometimes Josh's disposable can be questionable. Mitchell and Longer like more bombers.
It's funny, I said, and look, I don't watch a lot of VFL. I watched that game the other night, and I thought Demantia was really good and Parker was really good. But Demantia ain't coming in because he's not going to usurp Long or Mitchell's position, but he's clearly marked for a future inside role. And I think he's looking really good. And Parker was really good as well.
Well, Parker looks like he's got some class. Would you bring him up into the seniors to help Houston define a new role?
But the problem is, I don't think Fly's going to do any of this. He's going to go with his season campaigners.
Yeah.
And so you've got to work with that limited group. You're not going to be bringing in... I think the youth brigade have had their run now. I think we will fuck this management stuff off and try and get into the finals more of a set group of campaigners.
Do you persevere with Allen?
Fuck, I probably almost would. I thought he was really good in quarter one against the Tigers. He really presents well, but he's not damaging or anything yet. But how many games is it?
Oh, this is
I fucking love his size and the way he moves, and he does have a little bit of ferocity. But you know, the output just isn't really there yet.
So you got 17 disposals, and that looks like, what is it?
Did he kick a goal?
Didn't he miss?
No, I think he had that banana-y sort of thing out.
Yeah.
And then went across the face.
So he's got 6 kicks and 11 handballs. He's a strange one. There's times you look at him and go, oh shit, what do we got here? And then there's other times he's just like, yeah, what do we got here?
Yeah, but again, how many games he plays? He played 10 yet? be round about that mark. It's
They would have played the bulk of this year, so it would have been like 16, 17, and I think he's got 2 behind
maybe a
him.
bit more than that then.
So go around 20 or
It's
something.
still very low
I know,
numbers.
yeah. I mean, for players when they're young players when they're coming up, I always sort of look like, okay, just show me something that suggests that you're going to belong at this level. I'm not expecting Nick Dacos returns from everybody. I just want to see players who, when they decide it's their time to go, who just make good decisions. I get really irked when you see players come up, young players, and it's almost like they're so afraid they're going to fuck up. They just sort of do the safe handball to the side, or they do a little kick. It's like, what are you doing? I want you to take the game on when you need to take it on. Alan's got a good size. He's got a bit of a loopy kick. I still like to see him playing more on the inside. He shows some mongrel at times. I mean, the one thing, if they're up training loads, then the younger guys are the ones going to really struggle because they don't have the endurance behind it to back it up. So,
do you know what would probably fire him up? If someone stole his dog.
that would be a good idea. So, it's really hard to sort of take anything out of the win other than say, fuck, we won. I mean, 36 points, it's not really a belting, while Geelong's beating North by, 16, 17 goals.
Yeah,
and Adelaide smashed Port by...
There was a number of large blowouts, and we just did that workman-like thing again. Look, and I think the conditions clearly played a fair factor.
Oh, hang on, wait. Bloody Adelaide played Port in the fucking monsoon, and they still won by 16 goals. It was so heavy, you could barely see the players at one stage.
I actually think, out of all the fledgling clubs at the moment, Richmond's list is pretty exciting, though. And I think there was there were fucking kids out there that were doing a few things against us. I don't know who they are. So they've obviously got some talent sitting down.
Well, they traded big to get a lot of picks in the top 20.
Yeah. So you don't want to belittle their effort too much or anything.
I'm not belittling their level. I think, though, being a young side, they're the sort of side, and it's not just particular to Richmond, but young sides in general, that if you get a hold of them early, then they do tend to drop.
Well, I think once we I think that they tired a little bit and started playing that sloggy type conditions. And I don't think we did anything different than what we've been doing. We just sort of played keepings off, hands out here, and then just sort of stretch away a little bit. It's a familiar pattern to a few games in the last couple of months, where we just haven't blown anything away. We've just gone, that's enough. 5-6 goals, it'll do.
Do you have any concern that sort of like teams around us, like the Adelaides and that, really seem to be accelerating and we're just treading water?
Oh, no, I've got great concerns about Adelaide.
Well, I've been saying Adelaide the whole year. You fucking love Bulldogs.
I think GWS and Gold Coast have potentials to be really very good. I think Gold Coast probably another year away from really dominating this competition. But it's like consistently the last 3 weeks, young legs have troubled us. And I don't know whether we've got to effectively play that real structured keeping us off type game that we like to play. Certainly, I think we tried in this one, but the weather did play a factor in it. It was a fumbly game. When you're looking at the ground, they literally had fucking people all around the ball. It was like watching junior footy at times. There was just nobody sitting off into their positions. It just kept following the ball around, and it was contested a fair bit. But that's also the nature of wet weather footy as well.
Do you think it's like absurd that Adelaide, I mean, really just farcical that they use their draft picks on key forwards?
Adelaide?
Yeah, Fogarty and
fucking good ones
Tilthorpe.
too. That shits me. Wouldn't you kill for Tilthorpe?
Philthorpe.
Philthorpe.
This is one of my concerns, is the lack of class compared to, Gold Coast is just the Nepo babies. I mean, Ross Lyon nailed it. They are the fucking Nepo babies. I know St Kilda's gotten a lot of help also, but it's usually more financial, where Gold Coast has like 400 academy picks who are going to come up and going to be top 5 players. But they've obviously got a really classy side, or got a lot of class in there. And I think some of the other teams around us similarly have like a better spread of class at the top. I reckon that when you look at our side, particularly in the engine room, it's like Nick, and then Pendles, and then that's it. And then guys like Sidebottom and Josh. I mean, Josh, who we were assured was the greatest midfielder ever a few weeks ago. We don't have enough of that. We have like more grunt and battling, and it's all about system. It's all about zones. Like, we're talking about the one thing, like, go back to what Ginnivan said last year, where he said, like, the way Collingwood set up, you sort of get zoned to a certain section, and sometimes it can just not be your day. And look at, like, Schultz hasn't been that great offensively since he came back. And I wonder if he's been pushed out to more of a starvation corner because Jamie is doing well. But also wonder on the flip side, like, is there something similar in the defensive arc? Because you see Houston gets lost in the game a lot. What do you make of if Houston's name wasn't Houston? If it was just
he'd be running around the VFL.
So you think he's like that underwhelming the whole season, or for the cameos or so?
I don't think we've hidden the fact all year that we think we've been underwhelmed with him.
I'm scared to offend someone because I might offend their mother.
Yeah, look, I think he's been disappointing. I was expecting a hell of a lot more out of him when we got him, and the price that we paid for him, even though we're not allowed to mention that, was high. And I think when you spend big, you should be getting a big return. And I'm yet to see it. And was he going to explode in the finals? I hope he fucking does.
Yeah.
Because I think he needs to. He's almost. I mean, the thing is, no one's going to take his spot. So he knows he's safe. Do you think he's playing safe because he knows he's not under threat?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, they mentioned that McRae said, it'll take a while for him to learn the system and all that. So
how long do you fucking need? I don't get this.
I don't look. I look at it from this point of view. It's going to sound ridiculous. In 2023, you picked up Oleg Markov, and within 8 weeks, he pretty much displaced John Noble and become the default selection. And he was playing what he needed to do. And I know he's not on the calibre of Houston, but then that would make it seem like, well, why is he adapted so much quicker? Surely it's like defend your man, run to a zone, and then present some options.
Yeah, but again, is it that thing that when you're battling for a spot, do you play harder and better? Or when you know that you're safe, no matter what do? You don't have to work as hard.
But that's going to depend on the temperament. I mean, Nick Dacos isn't battling for a spot, but he's always trying to reach a high. I would have thought that Houston would just be thinking, fuck, I played at the Port Adelaide for however long, and that was a joke of a club. Never got really near a premiership. I could do it here. Let's fucking go for it.
Well, maybe they're all going to explode in finals.
Any final thoughts on this game?
Look, I mean, I think I came away from it munted, but also thinking that, geez, if the last few weeks is who we've become, we're in a bit of trouble.
I'm still hoping that like the training loads has actually flooded them out a little bit and they'll come up. I mean, we sort of did something similar in 23.
Look, there is evidence there of that being the case.
I mean,
I'm finding it. I guess the thing is you're bringing in. You're getting a lot of players back, and you're hoping that the magic is going to click really quick because we've got 3 big fucking games coming up. If we lose all 3 of them, we're in danger of dropping out of the 4 almost.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't plummet much beyond it, but I think for the year that we've had to finish out of the 4 would be an extreme. Yeah. Not to say disappointment, but fuck up probably.
Well, it'd be interesting because McRae talks about the connectivity, and I think the connectivity has actually suffered a little bit from the experimentation of who's going in the middle. You're managing players, so you're not letting that synergy develop or be nurtured over the course of the year. You keep disrupting it. So it's like the intent to manage players is obviously helping the players, prolong their career and keep them fit for the whole season. But on the flip side, it's fucking up the chemistry of the team, so you're not getting the best out of it.
Do you think it's also an element of you don't want to show all your cards now?
No.
You don't want to go. You don't need to go. So we're sitting top of the ladder. Where it's amazing what we're top of the ladder. We're complaining about things.
That's what we do. Apparently,
if you want to fucking get better and win a flag, that's what you got to do. Top of the ladder, we got a very good percentage. I think is it Adelaide beneath us that has a better percentage with some of the smashings they got, but our percentage is pretty fucking healthy. We're doing enough, but you want them to do better, and I think hopefully we're going to see that in the next couple of weeks.
My belief is I understand that you might get into a zone where just win, the margins don't matter,
and I think that's a lot.
We'll put the foot down when we get to the finals. I totally think so. If anyone out there believes this, I think when people go, we're hiding, or any team is hiding their hand until the finals, you name me one final where fucking clubs come out and done something so different. Everyone's gone, well, they hid that from us for 24 weeks. It's not a fucking Hollywood sports movie where you pull those sort of shocks. It never happens because the way teams are structured nowadays is all these guys have roles and they're all fixed in those roles. So fucked if, you get to the finals 24 games in, you go, now we're going to flip it and surprise everyone, because that's just going to totally disrupt it. I think,
and that's a tactic that Adelaide's taken. There's not many changes week to week with them. They've got a really solid fucking set side.
We'll go back to 211 and even 210. So won the flag in 210. 2018 and 2023 also. What did we do in the finals that was different to the fucking...
Oh, we stopped Richmond for winning 4 in a row.
Yeah.
That was different.
Structurally, we changed nothing. I mean, the only thing you could say we got close to changing in 23 is they flipped to Cox being the primary ruck. I know sometimes in-game they might experiment showing, moving players forward or back or whatever, but I don't think that's really experimenting for the finals or whatever, or trying to throw a game. I think that's just in the context of what the games needed. It's like, for example... we're fucking throwing more forward. Are we experimenting? Are we not taking the game seriously? Or is it just sort of a Hail Mary that they've tried at a certain point? So, I honestly think, like I said, I can understand. You look at someone like Geelong in 2008. They lost one game for the season against us. And they got to the grand final and they lost it. And the following year, they were just sort of in cruise to get to the finals. Because they realised, well, you can fucking have a season where you only lose one game. What's it matter if you lose the grand final? So they didn't seem to be putting their foot down the whole way, the whole season. They're just like, just get us there, then we'll do our thing. So I totally think, players, teams might preserve themselves, but I don't think there's any experimentation being hidden, or like there's a fucking Hail Mary that's going to be sprung on any teams. It's never fucking happened. Outside of Ted Lasso.
So you agree with Foxing then?
Yeah, totally.
See, you're just feeling the narrative now.
Yeah.
You're telling every opposition coach out there that you don't believe that we're doing this. They'll believe it.
Yeah. Look, just as a total hypothetical, what could we possibly do in the finals that's going to give us a leg up?
Win?
Yeah, but I mean in terms of the secret weapon that we're not disclosing.
Moving Frampton to the forward line.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. So that's it. There's nothing in there.
No, you want everyone in their positions playing their best roles and their best positions.
I remember Buckley was asked years ago about doing that, flipping players, and he said, I think it's unfair to the player to flip him into a role that they haven't been preparing for.
I think the only time you make a dramatic change is when the fucking
it's
cards
all
are absolutely torn from you and you've got no options.
You look at that in the 22 qualifying final against Geelong, Moore went forward in the final minutes, and that wasn't because, experimenting or whatever. It was just like, we're trying to find a goal, our forwards weren't marking it. So that's the only time, and anyway, as an aside, did you watch any of the Sydney GWS game? Did you see halftime interview with Toby Green?
Tom Papley. That was funny.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, it was good. Good on him.
So he hasn't been fined or anything like that?
No,
so.
he fucking shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I mean, how boring are most of the players are so well drilled with media, they drone an answer out. Yeah, we're going to run the defensive lines, we're going to go and do this. Yeah, call someone fat. That fat fuck over there. Look at him. Look at him. Bouncing around like a beach ball. I mean, that was entertainment.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah, no, I loved it too. But it's funny that then immediately the media's like, well, are they going to fine him for that? I don't think anyone ever fucking had a view of that, but it's like the media's trying to justify, or not just drive a narrative.
Did John Ralph, the world's biggest John Ralph, did he say that he tried to hang me a check today? Did you see that?
Yeah, yeah.
Did he try and hang Toby Green? Because he is the hanging judge.
I can't remember. He's a
good friend of the Rant, John Ralph.
Yeah. Well, he mentioned him to.
He's not as big a friend as Paul Keating though.
No. Yeah, that's good to know. Or Leon Davis.
Or Leon Davis. Yeah.
Brisbane, what do you feel? Saturday night?
We'll win this easy.
Really? At the MCG?
Look, I think we should go in favourites, and I think we should be favourites. We'll get some handy ins back, but we tend to do well against Brisbane at the G, except in 2002 and 2003.
They haven't beaten us since the grand final.
Haven't they?
No.
Yeah, I think we should go in favourites.
So if you go into...
And their forms, they struggled against...
Well, they got smashed last week.
By Gold Coast, wasn't it? Yeah. In the Battle of the Queues or something, was it fucking called? We just invent names to these things.
Battle of Nepo Babies.
The Battle of the Tan Lines or something?
The Battle of the New Nepo Babies.
The Precocious Growth of Pubic Hair Battle? Was that what it is?
The original series of Nepo Babies.
Is there a lot of Nepo Babies?
Oh,
the Nepos. No, they were the Frankenstein monster.
Yeah, they were the original Nepos.
They were built from the parts of everything.
Yeah, we certainly have no problem with a massive salary cap or players using.
We need to win though.
Yep.
I mean, because this is probably the least of the next three tough ones. I think Hawthorn will be keen to have retribution over the way we schooled them. I think it'll certainly work with that. And Adelaide over there is going to be a massive fucking test. We win that, we win the flag.
Yeah, it's interesting. I actually agree. I mean, not actually, but I mean, the Adelaide game, I do agree. That's going to be the big one. I actually think we have the capacity to smash Hawthorn yet again.
Yeah, I don't want to say it out loud, though. I think we stand a better chance of beating Brisbane than those two.
I mean, Hawthorn...
It's the young legs again that worries me.
The thing with Hawthorn, I'm not bashing them because they're Hawthorn. I think tactically they fucked up, or strategically they fucked up, by bouncing up a little bit too soon. Because I think they could have gotten a couple more, healthy draft picks, and that would have really... So instead of staying at the bottom like Carlton or someone and just netting all the draft picks, they have come up a little bit quicker than everyone's anticipated. Will Day is so important at that side, so it depends whether he's there in a couple of weeks too.
Isn't he back? I thought he was back.
No, he's back, but I mean, if he's been injury prone, so providing he's still around in a couple of weeks, you don't know. So
he's going to play the game of his fucking life when he plays us.
Well, I mean,
and then be injured for the next 6 weeks.
Well, the thing Hawthorn must be happy about is they got Carlton's draft pick for this year, so...
It is a funny competition, isn't it?
Thanks, Carlton. Final thoughts?
I think it's time to get serious. I think that's really about it, is to stop the fucking around now and get the less lights out of there, get the blokes that are going to be part of the next... 2 months, is it? 2 months almost? Be about 2 months, wouldn't it? All up.
That probably brings us to the prelim, knowing you.
No, get them out there, get them serious. Fuck the managing off. You should be fit enough now. The sob stories can go get fucked as well. You're paid to play. Fucking play.
Hill should be totally brought straight back in.
Are we talking about him now? Yes, he fucking should. Look, I think he moved brilliantly, and why wouldn't he? He wasn't injured. But he moved brilliantly. It looked exciting when he was near the ball. The 3 times he was near the ball on the VFL game. My fucking word, he should be playing.
He does well against Brisbane too. Alright, anyway, that's it from us. Like, subscribe, leave comments, share, all that sort of stuff. Disparage other podcasts. Not that we, endorse that sort of thing, but would appreciate it. And we'll see you next week. Later.
That's a bad time for a cough. See ya.
Thanks, Ross Lyon.
And Wankanese Millerer.